I know. And that's like we're getting addicted to this thing or something.
Weekends are for families, my man.
Yeah, well, yeah. We're family. I consider us family. There you go.
I got love.
Got to get it all in, fit everybody in, right?
Absolutely.
Man. All right, another stream of NGBS.
What is this, number 4? 5?
I don't know. I lost track of count. I'm just not worried about the numbers, I'm just like in it for the moment. Whatever moment comes up, here's the next moment, and we're living in it. But yeah, I think maybe 4, 5. No, it's 5. I think it's 5.
Oh, nice.
6,
what?
Maybe.
You know what? You lose track when you're having fun.
Right. Let's see. We did provided in root in the very beginning, right? Then we did templates, multiple templates for a single component.
Yeah, and then 2 animations one. So this is number 5.
Yeah, so this is 5. Yeah. Like it. I get a notification on my phone from Twitch that we're streaming. So, hey, look, I guess our stream is up. That's good.
I got that as well.
Cool. Right on. What are we?
I'm twittering.
You're twittering. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, you twittered, so I need to retwitter your Twitter. Exciting. There we go. That's it. Okay. Retweet that. Get people to know.
I sent it out. Oh! I favorited my own tweet.
That's okay. That's a Jeff Cross thing, right?
I was going to say that.
Jeff
I learned
Cross
that
taught us to favorite our own tweets. Hi, Jeff.
We love Jeff.
He's not watching yet, I bet, but someday he will. I feel.
He's coming. He's going to be here tonight. Right? He needs to know how to create a pull request. He's never done that, has he?
He's never done a pull. No, I don't think so. Is that what we're doing tonight? What are we doing tonight?
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Everything.
What does the tweet say? Tweets never lie, right?
Oh,
the tweet's gotta have the truth.
Oh, my seat's all the way up. All right. I was going to I'm going to lower my desk. All right. I feel better.
I think my dog already wants out. He's over it.
Oh, he don't like me.
Yeah.
He wants to leave.
Come in stream. We're streaming. You ready to go out?
I'm bored with it. He doesn't want to care. He doesn't care.
Like, dude, I've done pull requests like all my life. Hey, his birthday's tomorrow.
Is it really?
Yeah. Well, we assume. We don't know the exact date he was born on, but we got him in October, around late October, and he was super young. So we just made it arbitrarily October 1st.
That works.
Yeah.
Tomorrow starts October.
It does start October.
There's another.
I think it has something to do with what we're thinking about doing, right?
I don't think it's no longer named October. I think it's called Hacktober.
Hacktober? Why is that? Is there some kind of event going on?
There is a sponsored event.
Ooh.
A sponsor, you say?
That makes it legit, right? Like my dog's birthday on October 1st, it's a day, but it's not really an event because it's not sponsored.
If somebody's willing to put money towards it, it's an event.
Then it's an event.
Yes.
All right. So Hacktober, there's an event. What's this event?
It's basically, hey, get out there and contribute to open source software. OSS for short. What?
That's this Hacktoberfest?
Hacktoberfest, yes.
Hacktoberfest, all right.
There's here. I'll share it to you so you can share it to everybody else watching. What? I've lost you. There you are. I lost the window. There you go. Look.
Right. Overlay it. I got you. I'm on it.
Throw it up there. Let everybody see it.
Boom, boom. We'll edit this. Put this link up. Oops. Something like that.
Yes.
Hacktoberfest, DigitalOcean. There you go.
I'll figure that out sooner or later. I'm like, oh, it's on my left.
It's on right.
It's actually on.
It's like, yeah. See, I don't have it figured out yet. It's there. Yeah. Anyways,
You have to do it backwards, and I can't read upside down. I can't work in a mirror, and
Life's rough. Life is rough sometimes.
that's
Hacktoberfest.
why my hair is covered up.
Hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com. So this is some event that's going on to encourage contributing to open source during the month of October.
And just by doing that, you could possibly get a T-shirt from them.
Ooh, a T-shirt.
T-shirt.
A T-shirt. What kind of T-shirt? Pretty cool T-shirt.
I think it's one with a neck hole and sleeves.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Do you really need anything else?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I guess not. To qualify as a T-shirt, probably not.
True.
Right. So that's got us inspired to do. We talked about doing some open source stuff together. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of excited about maybe leveraging this to get us inspired to do some contributions this month and next month, because today is the 30th, right? 30th, whatever the number day is. It's the last day of September.
It is. Today is the 30th.
So not officially Hacktober yet.
Yes. So anything we do tonight does not count.
Doesn't count.
We'll call this practice.
All right. All right. So we're going to practice tonight.
I'm not Allen Iverson. I need my practice.
What are we talking about? Practice? Practice? I miss AI. Oh, I miss watching him play.
Yeah, he was a special talent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. I mean, it's got to be like midnight somewhere. It's got to be October 1st somewhere, right?
Is it?
Does that count? Can we modify our time zone and then do some PRs and then maybe qualify for it? Nah.
I feel like Japan might be at midnight.
All right.
Dude, it's already 10 o'clock in the morning on October 1st in Japan.
All right.
So if you're in Japan and you're watching, you can start October 1st now.
I mean, we think so, right? We don't run the contest or the event. So we don't have all the answers on that, but maybe.
I don't have the details. Now there is a link on their website called Details that might have some detailed information, but that might just be me going crazy.
I wonder if there's like more description about like how things run, maybe like some details about it. I don't know.
Yeah. I have way too many devices set up here to control my mouse pointer. I have the trackpad on my laptop. I have an external trackpad. I have a Magic Mouse, a Microsoft mouse, and hold on, it's around my monitor here, and a trackball.
That's a lot.
I need to start keeping this straight because there's way too many devices hooked up.
Do you use all those devices?
No. I primarily use the external trackpad. I mean, I can't get rid of the one that's on the laptop itself.
Right. All right.
So that one's there, and that's good to stay and everything. I primarily use the external trackpad. But remember I had to go buy a new keyboard.
Yeah.
Easier to buy than it is to say, apparently. When I bought it, I usually buy the business version, which is just the keyboard. But they didn't have any, and I needed it. So I bought the regular one, which came with a mouse. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try using a conventional mouse as well. So
over the Crystal Castles roller ball.
Yeah, that one I've had for a while.
Crystal Castles, Top Golf, depends on what area you're from.
Top Golf, I like it. And I'm
roller ball.
Yeah.
Marble Madness, whatever.
Well, that's why I have this.
Stress balls. I could have used some of those today.
I did use four. Yeah. In case I get twice as stressed.
Right.
Why isn't it building? Why doesn't it build?
I got it. All right.
I'll figure it out.
More devices. I mean, that one those don't control your mouse, but
no,
in a way they do, right? Because they de-stress you, so then it allows you to control more finite movement with your mouse. So one could argue that that's a peripheral.
Yes.
I don't know. Stretching it.
Yeah. All right. So do we want to get started? Do we want to give some time for people to show up?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, was kind of last minute, right? We throw it out there. Nobody knows we kind of have a schedule, which is every Wednesday, but now all of a sudden we're throwing in more content out there. So yeah, I mean, we could chat a little bit longer, see if people before we get around up, or we could just jump in. They could always watch the video on demand, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. Is that I'm jumping in to look at our stream to try and join the chat, and it's showing some sort of ad.
Oh yeah, I think it starts that way. I think Twitch starts playing an ad and then it gets you into it.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah. Sonic Park just said, "Oh hi, hi." I think it's Sonic Park, Sonic Parquet.
I know this
Island. You know them?
Yes, I know it's Brad. I know Brad. Hi, Brad. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in live. Sweet.
Hi,
sweet. I guess I can bring that over here. I can actually look forward and do that versus looking over my screen, my other screen. Because don't want to be rude.
Okay, so we want to contribute something. We want to try and contribute something in kind of a short amount of time, right?
Yeah. Tonight. We don't want to do one of our marathon streams. Hopefully keep this one straightforward, quick.
Cool. So we thought of an idea of a library that we could do a small contribution to, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to we haven't really researched it at all. We're just going to go right from 0 to...
We've done nothing at this point. And not to say that we're lazy or anything else. We wanted to, for Hacktoberfest, for anybody who hasn't created a pull request, this is from the get-go. We've done nothing on our local machine except for find a repo that we want to help out with. And do you want to talk a little bit about the repo that we found, or where that came from?
Yes, I do. Let me get some water.
Okay. I'll wait. You go ahead and do what you need to do.
Wait. Everybody else too. Wait. All right. So we had Ilya on Angular Air a couple episodes ago. One episode ago, was it the last episode? Yeah. And talking about the query param store library that he put together for managing application state via query params in Angular. And during the show, we had asked about the query params. It reads the query params. You can set up this configuration to say, here's the expected query param names, and here's what I want to use as default values. Here's what I want to do it in terms of getting to it. Really cool way to manage query params, which are basically strings in our URL, everything after the question mark, right, in the URL. Hold on, somebody's calling me. I got to just send that to voicemail because I'm on the streams. So, yeah. So it manages these query param strings, right? And gives us a way to kind of programmatically say, this is what we're expecting. We're going to work with those in code, and we are going to be able to have some default values, have some default behaviors and things like that to kind of declare intent upon the structure of these query params that we expect to do, and have some consistency through our app of how we get those default values as well as how we get them, on the regular, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and cool thing. So you basically, the concept there of the library is to use the URL with query parameters to reflect the state of your application. Right.
Because you can also then, through some service, set those query param values, tell it to update and store things in there, and then everything's reading from that. And those all become part of your browser URL, right?
Absolutely.
And then that can be like the source of truth, right? You deep link to that to somebody, they'll get that, and it'll include the query params, and it'll be able to rehydrate your state because all that state information is stored as part of the URL, right? So pretty cool.
You use the word rehydrate again, and all I can think of is Alyssa smiling over that because she loved that.
That's one of my favorite terms, rehydrate state. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Implementing it's a little bit of a challenge, but saying it's cool. So when we were talking through that, one of the things I was thinking about was the fact that the query params, when we read them, we may want to be able to read them case insensitive, right? so we could support, say my query param was cart item name or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Item name. And sometimes it comes in as item, as Pascal case item, capital N for name. Sometimes it comes in as all lowercase. Really, and when I want to read that data, I don't care what the casing is on that. I want to treat it as case insensitive, right? And so we asked about that in the library, and Ilya mentioned that it doesn't think that it supports it right now. So what we're thinking is take a look at this library, see if we can make a PR pull request for adding the option to turn on case insensitivity for our query param names.
Yeah, and I think that to be good open source citizens, I think we should also then create an issue before we create the pull request to maybe discuss and talk about the reasons behind why we're doing that, and we can walk through that process too.
I like that. I like that idea.
See,
I like having Mike next to me here for this PR experience and this open source experience. Yeah, over here. Luckily, I pointed the right way in the very beginning. I lucked out.
Yeah.
I got to take my dog back there because I knew he was on this side and you're on that side, and so I was like, "Yeah, they're Mike. This Mike over here, right?"
Yeah, I should. You use context clues.
I did. I cheated. I like Not really though. I just used what was in front of me. So you have a lot of experience with doing open source pull requests and things like that. So I'm gonna leverage you for that. I have some, but I'm not nearly as much time into it as you have. So I like this because you'll have all the answers.
Yeah. Well, for public repos, yes, I've done a bunch on a few public repos.
Right. And so this concept, we can explain a little bit more about it. Well, you did, I guess, so maybe it's fine in terms of creating an issue, right? We're sitting here going, okay, we want to add this feature, and sure, we could just make a PR and do that. But what you're saying is, it's nice to be able to create an issue. Then you can use the issue like in GitHub, because we're talking about GitHub here, right? And this is where this repo is added on GitHub.
Yeah.
So we can create an issue.
Yeah, I don't want to fully talk about it now. I'd like to talk about it a little bit more as we go through the process.
Okay.
Actually doing that. And this way, anybody who's watching along can take a look at that and see exactly what's happening.
Sounds good.
Sweet. You want to get into it? Do we want to share?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, give me a second. Get my environment set up. As I tend to be the screen sharer. I don't know if those are words or the person who shares their screen.
You're the screen sharer.
I am good to go, I believe. Yep, I've got 2 windows open here. Cool.
Okay. I'm commencing screen sharing.
Yeah, and I think we can get rid of the URL down at the bottom too.
That is a good call. By
Thank
URL.
You. So
and our logo too. Hold on. Mm-hmm.
That's fine. All right, so this is the Hacktoberfest website, and which starts tomorrow, October 1st. But I wanted to see if there's a picture of the T-shirt. So the details about it, and we'll get into go into the other site. Sign up anytime between October 1st and 31st. Rules. We don't need to read the rules, do we? Projects. Oh,
No.
I already filtered to TypeScript because I figured that's what we'd go through. But there's a whole lot of different languages in here. Let's see here. Browse more on GitHub. Climate change, global events. I want to see the T-shirt. Spread the word. Oh, maybe it's under details. I'm scrolling fast here. FAQs. There we go. Rules. Shipping. Oh, you have to register. Hey, wait, that's the website I'm on. You can look for issues labeled with Hacktoberfest. Nice. Track my progress. Okay. Stickers. Oh.
After completing 4 PRs.
All right. Well, we'll see what we can get. Well, not tonight. We'll have to do it during Hacktoberfest.
Right.
This is pre-Hacktoberfest. So in the chat, Sonic Park, aka Brad, wants to know if there's any specific approved projects. There's some comments about that as the details within here. They don't want like things that could be automated, like a version bump or anything else. They want it to be like meaningful PRs. Is what I gathered from when I reviewed the rules when I first heard about Hacktoberfest. Oh, yeah, here we go. It could potentially be marked as invalid by a maintainer. Yeah, there's a list, but I think it's you have to authenticate, I think, with your GitHub account.
On the Oktoberfest site?
PRs only count, but obviously issues are helpful as well, and we'll talk about it, why. All pull requests created between October 1st and October 31st will count, regardless of when you register. Pull requests created before October 1st but merged after do not count. Any pull requests made on a public repository counts, whether it's attached to a Hacktoberfest issue.
There we go.
Good to know.
All
I don't
right.
think we're going to get to see the t-shirt.
T-shirt.
All right. Tracking. All right.
There's the word T-shirt a lot. Now, if it had that logo on it, I'm all in.
Dude, I know that is an awesome logo. I don't. Oh, what?
Wait, it's moving.
Dude, that is cool.
Ooh.
All right. I think we need this in our animations.
Yeah.
It's changing the skew on this.
Yeah.
All right. See, we get distracted easily.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
No, I want to see what's going on here. Oh, it's rotating it.
Yeah. We could create an Angular animation rule for that. Or
that can go into our open source animations library.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wow, that's cool.
And it scales it as well. It makes it a little bit bigger too as you get over
it. Magic.
All right, I'm sorry.
Browser magic. I love it.
Right. So this is the Hacktoberfest website. There's an FAQ. There's details. I'm not going to go sign in yet because, well, I'm going to wait till tomorrow to do that. Oh, look at it. This one does it too.
Yeah.
I dig that. Kudos to the team. I like that.
That is cool.
All right. So this is the library that we are talking about. It's called Query Param Store by Ilya. We can look. Oh, there's more than one contributor at this point. I'm not lying. That said 2, didn't it?
It did say 2.
Interesting. All right.
Oh, the other one's a bot, I think.
It is a bot. Okay. Well, I'm not a bot. Are you a bot?
What's that, a bot? That was a bad pun. Ben Left would be very disappointed with me. Tracy.
Yeah, yes. All right. Oh, wrong one. Okay. I told you I primarily use this trackpad, and I apparently don't know how to use it. So, we have this repo, and this is what we want to work on, right?
Right.
So how do you work on that? Well, I know we talked to Ilya, but I don't have rights on this repo, so I can't push anything to it. So what I need to do is create my own version of this repo. And the way you do that, and you notice I'm already logged into GitHub here, and I'm logged in as myself. That's me. I'm Brocco. Yeah. And I want to fork this repo.
You're the B in NGBS.
Yes. And what it says is fork your own copy of this repo to store or to my account. And that's what I want to do. I want to create a whole copy of this repo, and this way I own it. So I'm going to do that. And most people won't get prompted for this, but I'm a part of 2 other organizations. If you're part of an organization, then you can do that. But I'm going to do this as myself, as part of my organization. I guess I could do it as NGBS. I'm not sure if that'll cause any issues with creating the pull request. So I'm going to do this as me.
Just as you.
And now, if you notice, so I'm going to go back to my duplicating. And notice how this one is Ilya's version of query param store. But let's put this over here. And I'm going to take this. And this one's my version. Right? Dude, look, I'm a professional.
You're a pro.
Nice.
You still have the pro GitHub account. You can't fool me. That just means you paid money.
That's exactly what that means. I paid money to GitHub. I started doing that so that I could have private repositories. Then they added that for free. So that's out there too. All right. So this is now my version. So guess what? Since it's mine, we're not going to worry about publishing packages. So, oops. Since this is my version, I can now push branches here. Right?
Right.
And I can clone this, and I can do a lot of other things too.
So now this is your version of it at the moment that you forked it, right?
Yeah.
So whatever that code base was at that point in time, that's what you have right now.
Exactly. I have exactly what he has, except I have it as mine. And that's great, but I don't have an ability to do editing in GitHub. Although that's not really true, because in GitHub, if I click on a file, I can edit inline here. But that's not really a great developer experience for me, right?
I mean, maybe for a text file, one file.
That's true. Maybe for a text file, but then I can't run tests or anything like that either.
Well, possibly, right?
Yeah, possibly. That's true.
We might be able to bring this into Stack Blitz.
Yeah. Well, that's not what I want to do.
Okay. That's not what I want to do either, right?
Yeah. What I want to do is I want to clone it. I want to get a local version of this here. So I go to cloner download, and I'm just going to copy that. And what this is, if we look at the URL, it's basically Git. So it's a Git URL, and it's using SSH, github.com/me/the parameter here, .git. This is just the location of this here. So I can take that, and I can go to my terminal. Is my font size okay, boss?
No, that is very, very, very tiny. I would just keep going up. Almost there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. How about there?
So what I want to do.
Brad says it's good. He may have said it was good a
Thanks,
couple bump ups ago, but we'll take this.
And what I'm going to clone this.
Okay. So you copied that URL. So you're going to clone that URL.
I'm okay with this level because it's not wrapping. If it doesn't wrap, I'm okay.
You're all right.
All right. So that's the URL that I copied, and I'm just going to clone. And I guess I should enter here, right? Cool. I'm done. So you notice it says cloning into. So now if I do an ls here, we now see query param store. Hey, these are our previous ones where we started, our multiple templates, and our animations. So go watch those all too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cd into query param store. And then I am going to open VS Code.
Your Sonic Park is stoked right now. You're pulling off some wizardry for sure. Okay. Says in the chat, woot. I like it.
All right. I know I'm already bumping. Are we good now? What?
Oh.
Insiders. Oh, Wander wants to use it. Okay. Logging keychain pass. All right. Yeah, we'll just take that off screen real quick.
So you're using VS Code Insiders edition?
I am.
That's like the next edition of VS Code, right?
Yeah. Oh, do we want here? Let's live on the edge. Let's update it.
Live on the stream?
Yeah, why not?
That should go fine. Yeah, go for it.
Hopefully, if it comes back up. Oh, there we go. Got something going on my other screen too. Oh no. Oh, okay, good. I had some other information on my other screen that I needed. I've got it still. We're good. You good?
I'm good. We're good.
All right.
It's a little small, but we're good.
Download dependencies. Live share installation. All right. So what's going on? I want to let this finish installing. All right. You good? You tell me to wait. What is above the GitHub extension?
Is that Angular console?
No,
The icon?
I'm not sure which one he's talking about. This?
That one.
This is GitLab.
Browser preview. That's GitLens.
Oh, this is GitHub pull request. Oh, I forgot about that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's something completely different because I don't know if that's going to help us at all. Anyway,
GitLens. Yeah, GitLens. That's the one that looks like a branch, right?
Yeah, it's also the GitHub PR thing. All right, but I know here from looking at this repo and this code base that I just cloned is there's a package.json.
Okay.
So I'm going to do an npm install because we're probably going to have to wait for that to run. But the one thing I want to do is I never do anything on the master branch. I always want to create my own branch to do that.
What? I like that strategy.
This wants me to restart again. I'm going to do it again. So I can do that here on this command line. So I can do a git check. Check. It keeps on stealing my focus. Check out a new branch. And what are we going to do? Case insensitive. Params. So what that did is it checked out. We have our branch now, and we're not working off a master, which is good.
So Sonic Park said new branch even before npm install. Interesting. We can talk upon that.
Yeah, we could. So
I'll talk about that.
The way I like to do that, because I can do that. So whenever I do an npm install, it always changes my package lock. Always. And it bugs me. And then I have a change to do on my
master branch.
Yes, on the master branch, and I don't want to accidentally create a commit on master and become out of sync. So I do that. So while that's, I guess we don't have to worry about it at this point.
See, I knew you have all kinds of answers. You have a lot of experience in doing this. So you've been down a lot of roads and experienced probably a lot of challenges, right? So you remember all that stuff. I like it.
Yeah, I make a lot of mistakes and then I try not to make them again. All right, so while this is installing, do we want to look through the repo at all? Oh, wait.
Wait for what? What are we waiting for?
We didn't create an issue.
I asked if you want to talk about that earlier. You want to talk about it in line.
Yeah.
We got to do it, right?
Well, we were still talking about Hacktoberfest, and I wanted to talk about it here.
Okay.
So I'm going to create an issue, right?
All right, that's okay. You haven't done any code. We haven't done any code. You haven't made a PR yet, so we're not there. So there's plenty of time still here to create this issue.
Oh, there's labels.
Why are we creating an issue?
All right. Sorry, I need to go back to where it was. New issue. All right. What do we want to try and do?
What are we doing with this issue?
We're announcing right?
Announcing what we're making the PR for?
No, they're just to discuss what we're trying to do. This isn't changing any code. This is just a discussion platform of what we want to try and do or what we'd like to see this library or this open source project contain this functionality, right? And you could use this to have a bug or anything else. right? I just like to label this so that it's a little bit clearer of saying, I'm not saying that something's broken. I'm not saying, hey, this is a bug. This is just something I like to do, to just basically say, hey, I'm asking for something new, and this is what I would like to do. I'd like to create a feature request, and however we delimitate that, that is fine. And we want to basically support case insensitive. I'm probably going to type that wrong all night. Support case insensitive params.
Configuration.
No, not the configuration. We want the parameters to be case insensitive in terms of when it matches up.
Yeah, but I think, okay, well, yeah, so part of the implementation detail, I think, is that we want that to be turned on with a setting where it still behaves as is now, however it behaves, and you have to opt into saying, I want that support, right?
I agree with you. But as a user, I want to basically say that we want to be able to support having case insensitive query parameters.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, I think we're on the same page and saying the same thing two different ways.
Right. And it'll all be described in the description here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so sometimes open source repositories will have a contribution doc or an issue doc that'll explain a desired pattern for creating these things, right? So,
yes. On two different levels. Are you talking about issues or are you talking about pull requests?
well, both. But right now, I guess we're focused on issues. So I guess we'd be talking specifically about issues. Like sometimes there's a issue guidance that helps describe how you should name them, like the title of ours, the one that where you just put feature requests as the prefix. Yeah. Sometimes repositories will ask for that to be in a certain pattern, right?
Yeah, so I'm just going to go to the Angular CLI repo because that's just what I'm familiar with. And I think what Justin's referring to is something here called a contributing doc, which I'll get to in just a second. So I'm just going to open that in another tab and we'll go back to that. But in here, if we were to go in and go to the issues and create a new issue, there's a whole lot you can do with this, and that's actually being expanded on. So it's basically can give you different templates of what you're trying to do. Inside here, you want to be able to create a feature within here. So if I click get started, there's going to be some information to fill in. And it's talking about, hey, please search. And the maintainers of a repo can add this in here of different helpful pieces of information. Is basically say, hey, before you create something, go ahead and search and make sure something's out there. And then also some labels in here of what you're doing. What are you trying to change? And here it's regard to the different commands within the CLI. But there's different prompts that repository owners can add for you. But the other thing, is that any questions, or are we good with that, Justin? Do you have any questions or anything to add?
No, I was just looking to see. I felt like there was also, like you showed that contributing markdown file.
Yeah, right? I was going to go to that next.
And I feel like I saw one also for issues that you could template out your issues. I can't remember.
Yes. If I go back, that's issues.
A Googling.
In here, are you talking about in here?
Yeah, so similar to that, right? Like there's a naming convention, I think that'll pick up like on your contributing.md.
Yeah, but I don't think it's in the contributing. I think it might be in the .github folder. Issue template.
Okay.
And there's an issue template folder. So in here, you can specify. So if we go to the issue templates and we look at the feature requests where we just were, this is exactly what we just had. And if we look at it raw, that's exactly what we're seeing, right?
Mm-hmm. And then, so if you create a new issue on that repo, does we saw in the description it showed up, right? Was that what we were looking at?
Yeah, that's where we were filling out a new issue, just like we were here. It just shows up in here as basically a helper structure.
Right.
And that's good for like larger projects that have multiple users. So to help you guide through to create issues within the repo.
And to help those maintainers easily parse through all the different things that come in, right? And identify and group things and figure out how to work them all.
Absolutely.
So in this particular one, we didn't see any of that, right? We looked for that first in this query param store, and we didn't see any. So we're going to go ahead and create this issue in your pattern that you kind of feels a good way to introduce a request, right? In a polite manner sort of deal. Otherwise, if there was that, we could have followed that and did that better.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people who subscribe to the school of thought when you write code is that you don't write code necessarily to be performant, but to be maintainable. When you go back and look at your code to be able to read it and understand it, it's almost like that. If you were going to come back or somebody come to this issue without any prompting or anything else, to be able to digest it easily and to be able to say, hey, this is the type of issue that it is, and this is what I'm looking for, is very easy for somebody to understand as they come back and look through this. Or once you create an issue, to search for it, or to as you're scrolling through and all you're seeing is the titles and maybe dates that it was created or information like that, is information to be able to see it and quickly digest exactly what somebody's looking for.
Right.
So in here, what do we want this to do? So I think when creating a feature request, I think it's nice to have, is this markdown? Yeah, I can do markdown here. What current behavior is nice to show, as well as desired behavior. All right, so you were creating a feature and basically say, let's tell them what it's doing now and what we want it to do. And I think that pretty much explains it, right?
Yeah. Now, this is where we might need to do some investigation first, right? Because we talked about this with Ilya on the show on Angular Air, and we asked him about this case insensitive support. But it was like a brief, quick question in the middle of a presentation. The answer that seemed like we got was that it doesn't support case insensitive, so that it'll match exactly the case for your query param. But we haven't vetted that yet to see if this is actually something that we want to create code for, right?
No, we haven't. It's something that you should probably do, is dig through the code to see what the behavior currently is. I'm willing to go off of what Ilya said. And besides, if that is the case and we create the issue and then realize that that functionality is already there, we could always come back and close the issue as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Are you on board with that, or do you want to dig through code first?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Let's create the issue and then I mean, the only thing I think of is like, what if Ilya's out there right now just waiting by his computer for new issues and sees it and jumps on it and starts responding or doing something, right? Then maybe we send him down doing some investigation work or send him down responding to our thing, right? When we could have looked at it for him.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking of.
How about we type out an issue so that we can go through that process, because I think that's worthwhile. And then we just won't submit until we verify.
That's kind of what I was getting at. I think that would be great.
Okay.
But now make sure you copy and paste that somewhere else in case the browser wants to reload on you and we lose the whole thing, because I just had that the other day and it's
All right. So since it's Markdown, let's go do it in VS Code.
Okay. I wonder if Chrome has anything, or if not, if we could get that as like a feature request for it to local storage save, or local instance save what you're putting in your form fields. It probably could be dicey, right? Whether you want that or not.
Yeah, very true.
If I'm filling that out and somehow the browser crashes, it would be awesome if my browser could bring that back to life for me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When specifying a query parameter in the configuration, the value is, actually, it's not when specifying. It's when parsing, right? Query parameters based upon the configuration, the matching is done using case sensitive logic. Desired behavior, the query parameter parsing based upon, or should be for the option to be parsed in a case insensitive manner.
Right. And I would say by default, the current behavior should remain in place by default, right?
Yes.
So this should be an opt-in based on the existing code.
This should be opt-in functionality based upon a conditional flag. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to go back to GitHub real quick and I'm going to paste that and preview it. So in here, we see that this is the current behavior. This is the desired behavior, but I'm not even going to put my mouse over the button. We're not going to submit the issue at this point.
Okay.
All right. And there's also other important information about submitting an issue beforehand that's helpful as well when creating a pull request, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Also, to be clear, since I have the two tabs open, notice that we're creating the issue on the main repo and not on my forked version of the repo.
Good point.
Yes.
I have done that before.
I have too, and it gets very confusing. Like, why haven't you commented on my issue? Oh, because you created in a repo that nobody else cares about. It's just your fork. All right. So we'll leave this here. And now we get to start diving through code. But you can't dive through the code, Justin.
I can't because you didn't share me that live share link yet.
Didn't? Would you like one? I'm going to create a collaboration session.
Let's do it.
And I like that it automatically copies this to the clipboard. Nope, we don't want to make it read write. But what this did is on my clipboard, I now have this VS Code live share. So if you're fast and you're watching live, you can type that in and join the live share.
Done.
Okay, or I'll share it through the chat. That would probably make more sense. So if you have VS Code installed and the live share extension, go ahead and do that. Justin, do you need that?
I do not, because you put it in the chat. So I'm going to launch it from the chat. Except I need one to be able to edit, though. Did you put the read-only one in the chat?
I did, but that's okay. Go to that one.
Oh, you can change my...
I did. So it shows here that you have joined the collaboration session. And what I can do is I can make you
the power. I see it. Host is giving me read-write access.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. If anybody else wants to join, feel free.
You know, when I say thank you, I expect you to sing "You're welcome" to me in only the way you and The Rock can.
Also, should point out that I know we installed the node modules and we don't see them. They are actually here. I just am hiding them from VS Code because I end up opening it and it's too long to scroll and it bugs me.
Gotcha.
So what's under source? Ooh, so we have an application. Well, let's look into the Angular JSON and see what projects we have. So we have the query param store, and the root is at the base, and then we have query params store is the library. So query param store is an application that lives in the source directory here, where the actual library lives here.
Right.
So what I see with that is that this is likely just a test or a demo application that we can use to verify the application.
Cool. So we should be able to maybe run that and test out our theory, right?
That's a good point. We could start there. Do you want to start there, or do you want to start with code?
I say we start there. I say we launch the app. My guess, well, let's look at the app and see if there's sample query params. Probably, I would assume.
I'm opening package.json just to double check. We can run npm run start, and the default application. Hey, Justin. The default project is query param store, which is the application. So
Okay.
we're good. So npm run start.
Which browser will it open in on my machine?
What's your default, buddy?
I have several browsers open right now.
You have several browsers.
Oh, sorry. I have. Okay, let me rephrase that. Not which browser will it, because they're all Chrome. So which Chrome instance will it open in?
I see.
That's what I meant to say.
This site cannot be reached.
Up there. No, wait. Up there.
All right.
On
Well,
my
I should report to you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Cannot find module query param store.
Query param star. So
Do we have to build that first?
This is probably looking for query param store inside of the dist directory, and I have not built that library yet. So did he add anything in package.json to build the library? And he did not.
No, but we know how to do that with the Angular CLI.
Yes, we do. So I'm going to end that, and I'm going to do, get rid of this, mg build, and I didn't copy the name of that. Angular.json, and we want to build this. So that is actually going to compile the library. So I'm going to leave that open as our first one here. And then I'm going to type npm run start in our second and wait till the first one's done. And then I'm going to switch back and forth. All right, so now we've built, and we can see that in our dist directory, we're good. So that should exist. And now when we run the application, we should be good to get past that build error.
Coolio. It's going to work. It's going to work.
You're here, so it's got to work. See?
Who was our good vibes test sample data from the last time? Ashley? Was it Ashley?
I think it was. What? All right. So now we have some errors. Justin, I'm telling you, this is really big for me.
The font?
Yeah.
Yeah. Them's the breaks of, sharing content.
This is true. All right. So if we go to, this is in the application. Now there's a possibility that the application just isn't up to date right now. So if we were to search for that, it is here, but isn't this telling us that it doesn't exist? Line 4.
Module has no exported member. All right, query param store routes. Store routes.
This is in the app. These are all app things.
And it suggests, did you mean I query param store route singular?
Params store? Yeah, but then it's not being used in the application either.
Oh, params.
All right, I'm okay with that. And then we have the same, what's going on here in the routing module? Same thing. Oh, I did not mean to do that. And it's not being used.
Now it is.
This is true.
Need to do that for the other one?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, I guess I do. And then the README. I think we're going to make that change in the README as well, because this way we're being good citizens to update the documentation as well as part of this. Right? This is going to bug me, so I'm taking this, and I have another instance of VS Code over here off to the side that I'm just going to save this here, and this way it's not
Close that file
here. And this way I can do Command Shift S to save all.
Nice.
And then now we're rebuilding.
Recompiling.
And I'm going to clear.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
I don't know. Hopefully good things. We're up and running.
Hey, look. It's showing up on mine. It's showing up on yours? Showing up wait, no.
Oh, this was the other, the Angular CLI stuff we were looking at. And if I refresh, ooh.
Haha, look at that.
There we go.
All right.
And I think test 2. Huh.
Your URL is updating. I don't see mine updating because mine's running this Webpack dev server.
All right, so this says content query params are, we're getting test 2, the value of test 2. Completed is null. Page is 20.
So how about that? Do we have one that, it's test one that's.
Let's see if we go to page 40 and refresh. All right, so that worked. So I can see
read that, right?
But let's see. So what we're arguing is that if we were to change this to AG.
Capital A, capital G, right?
Yeah. Does that zoom for you?
It did, but it wasn't on the bar. It was, can you now do it?
Are you seeing
Ooh, it did zoom. I like it.
All right. So here I have AG, capital.
Yep.
And then zoom back out. And see page come across as 0. So it doesn't it totally ripped that out.
It took it out.
Yeah.
I think Ilya mentioned that if it doesn't, that when you declare these with that library, it says only these are going to be part of it, right?
Oh, sorry. This is the detail routing. So if we go into that routing module, and I'm just going to get rid of this. This is what we're talking about, is this data here in the query params config. So somewhere in here, there's some page, right?
Right. Maybe it's a child route.
Here, let's see where page size is defined, because that was one of the things in here. It's in the user routing module. Page is in here.
Mm-hmm.
And page size has a value of 0. But anyway, page is a value of 0. And I think in here, since it's removing unknown ones, it's removing page when we try and make it insensitive. So it's not matching it there.
Right. And just to be clear, this is all, the code that we're looking at right here is all part of this query params library, this query param store open source library that allows you to set up some configuration by making use of Angular's router data property.
Yes.
And it'll read from that data property. So the data part right there on line 19 is an Angular thing, right? Yeah. Angular router thing. And I mean, the entire object literal right there for data as a Angular router thing. But then this query param store open source library will look for that particular named key inside of the data object in a route and parse it out based on these expected values, right?
Correct.
Or expected named keys associated, right? Sort of this, what do we call it? Convention?
Yes.
Convention over configuration sort of thing, right?
Yes.
Kind
And these values available through the service that is provided here. So what we're arguing or postulating and hoping to implement here is that when I'm just going to click here to go to that route, whenever if somebody were to type P capital A capital or lowercase g capital E, that this would still resolve, and I'm going to put these side by side real quick, that putting something that has a different casing would match up to this default value or this query parameter value, correct?
key, right? Or a query param key.
So to follow in that page size, as we're doing this, we could say page size is equal to 140, or this could be a lowercase s, and it would still all resolve if we were to set an option.
Right.
So in here, so wherever remove unknown is, we want to add something else to basically say case insensitive is true.
And I bring this interesting point right here is that this would be a configuration for the entire set, right? Do we want to look at adding that as well as like a per key value? Because like on test on line 30, that's getting an object which allows you to configure some specific things about the test named query param, right? Should we add the support for case insensitive there as well? For individual, or maybe we just start with at the top level?
I think we start with it at the top level, and that's the default feature to get what we want in there. And then it could always be iterated upon to make it more granular.
I agree. Okay, so what if, so this doesn't, and we get squiggly because this doesn't exist because this is what we want to add.
Correct. Give me a second to get back to where we were.
Okay. Can you set that remove unknown to false so we can see what, see it stay in the URL and see it not match that value?
Yep. So I'm going to save that.
Assuming that's going to happen.
This is going to get updated, and we're going to just do age. And I think because it matched the default there. So let's say we want to do page is equal to say 10. Go to a new route.
Did it not? Did you save that? Did it save it?
Save that, and it rebuilt as well.
Yeah. Maybe remove unknown is not it. What is it?
Unless I'm missing something else where page and page size are set.
How do I stop following you? I'm trying to click on something and it keeps scrolling.
Routing module. I am violate. Oh no, we're trying it on page, so page should still work. Unless it's a possibility that the page is too large here. Page equals 2. I'm not sure why.
What about just doing like the test 2 one?
Yeah, that's interesting though, because that's almost like that's part of the route. That's not query parameter.
Oh, it's not.
That's interesting. right, interesting. Because we wanted this to fail. All right. Or even if we said page size equals 100, we wanted that to stay, but for whatever reason, it doesn't want to stay. Have a good one, Brad. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. All right. And it looks like we have a few more people here in the chat. So I'm going to reshare the live share link in case anybody wants to join, sharing the live VS Code live share session, and therefore also the local host. That if you have the VS Code live share extension, you can click on that in the chat to be able to join in, just like Justin is here. And you'll be able to click through the code live in your machine on your editor and go wherever you want within the code, which is pretty cool. So I'm not sure what's going on here, Justin, with why that keeps on clearing out.
Yeah, it seems like that remove unknown false would make it work, but maybe there's another configuration somewhere in some other route that says remove unknown true, and that's actually winning. What if we did that? What if we search for that?
Good point. I'll do that as well so that people can see. And we're going to find that in more places. Under projects is where the library lives, but we want to do it within the application. Oh, are there? No, there's only one location of the user
routing module. Yeah, there.
You know what's interesting is that the detail routing module, I think, is the parent to this. Because if we look in the application, the detail route is here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's using both.
So we might need to change it everywhere to get the behavior that we want to see, right?
Yeah. And I changed all those locations as well.
Cool. Oh,
we're good. We're good.
Nothing to see here.
Nope.
Never happened.
Yeah, so if we look in the user routing module, the changes we made, we mentioned the bad import, and then we changed the remove unknown to true. And then inside the detail one, we should have 3 of them. 1 here, change from false to true, 2, and 3.
Hey, Mike, remember earlier today when I messaged you and was like, man, I wish VS Code had a way to say these files that I changed, don't have them as part of my commit so that I don't accidentally commit them, right? Or add them to a different commit list, change list. Man, sure could use that right about now for those 2 files that you set false to true on, because we really don't want those as part of our commit.
I think something's going on with the audio. I'm not hearing you. All right, so let's try this again here. I'm trying to use this to PAGE. Oh, still got rid of them. I'm not happy.
Yeah, we're trying to test this, right?
Ah, there we go. I put it in there as an additional one.
Well, the same one though, right?
All right, so we'll try. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, so it's treating it, so it's outputting the current query params right there, and it's treating them as 2 separate unique ones, right? We see page size in the middle there, and then we see page size all caps on the far right there.
Yeah. Well, I'm also reading here that check out the browser console for more info on guard query params. So maybe it's just not allowing that to happen. I'm not sure. I don't want to dig fully into the application here, but we'll notice here that we're parsing this in here. And page size and this page size, so the one that's 20 that's default, and this one, we want this one to match up to this so that this would show as 2. Correct?
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
So not treat them as separate keys
Yeah.
based on their
Yeah, to do
case.
the matching to get from this to this without any case sensitivity.
Right.
All right. So I think what we've done at this point, though, is verify that this is an issue and something that we want to solve.
Correct. I agree.
So I think we can come in here and we've confirmed the current behavior, and we already know what the desired behavior is that we typed out, and actually submit the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You're going to add, you said you might add a little more to it. What was that?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Oh, maybe like what version we're on, what we're using, anything like that?
Potentially, I find those as somebody who's maintaining an open source application, I find those pieces of information to be more helpful when submitting a bug than necessarily a feature request. Because what that type of information of what version of Node, what version of NPM, what version of the library is allows the maintainer to be able to recreate that environment as best as possible. But when creating a feature request of, hey, I wanted to do something additional, I find that information to be less important.
What about if you don't get, as a maintainer, you don't get to this issue for, say, a month or so, and in that month, there's been new features that are added? Would it be helpful in some manner to be able to identify at what point? I mean, you can see the date at which this was submitted, but maybe if you had the version at that given moment for the library in there, that I could say, oh, I know that, like, as a maintainer, 3 versions after that, I added this functionality. So I can just kind of quickly parse this issue. I don't know. Is that helpful?
Sure.
Let me see if I can get a version for this.
I got it. Version, and this way we'll be sharing that as well. So what I want to do is I want to look at the package.json, but we'll notice that we have 2 package.json files, the one at the root, but the other one, this one inside this directory, is the one for the library. So I want to go to that one there. And here we can see the current version is 2.3.0.
Because that package JSON in that project directory for query param store, that's what's getting delivered out to NPM, I'm assuming.
That is,
and then as users pull that into our code base to use, right?
yes. So I'm going to come back here and put that in here.
I like it.
Cool. And I don't know why I like to differentiate that. Using single twist,
It's markdown with some backticks, and that'll make it look like code in
a
line.
little bit of style, right?
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Calls it out. It's nice.
So I'm going to submit that issue. It is issue number 16. And that's important. And we'll get to the reason why. Not the number 16, but the fact that it does have an ID.
Yeah.
And then here people could react to that if they want. And what I should do in our chat, I'm putting a link to the GitHub issue. If anybody's interested in taking a look at what we're doing, that will also get you to the repository. If you want to clone it to be able to look at your code locally as well, then you can do that. Sweet.
Cool.
All right. So now we need to figure out where the code is to make these changes. I'm guessing it's going to be in the library source.
Yep. That's
Somewhere
where
down here.
I dive in at.
But the one thing that I noticed as we were defining this, if we're going to be putting it at this level, if we copy this, we can search for that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Interfaces and types. That seems pretty helpful. Okay.
So this is that query param store data interface that defines what that structure of that particular object literal that we've set on our data for our routes should look like.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I think what I'd like to do is create a commit. Didn't we change some stuff inside of here?
Not all that stuff we want to commit, but one of them.
Yeah, we want to change that part of it, right?
Yeah, you need to roll back or change those false to true for the remove.
I thought there was a way inside here to add part of this. What is this? Open file, discard, or stage? Source action. Stage selected ranges. So I want that one. And that, if I do stage selected ranges, right? That only has the 2. It doesn't have our other.
Highlighted enough lines that contained the changes. You didn't highlight just the lines. You were able to highlight just a bulk of lines. And as long as the pieces of changes were part of that, then when you did that in VS Code, you were able to indicate to VS Code, hey, just these changes are the ones that I want to stage.
Exactly. And so I'm not changing the fact that we updated the logic of the application, just these 2 here.
Nice.
Stage selected ranges. I like that. So we did that. And then we did make the change in the README as well, because we're trying to be good citizens. So I want to stage that as well. So what I want to do here is basically create a commit saying, hey, updated, or basically got the application building and running again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go back to our terminal. This is huge. All right. I can deal with this.
All right.
So I have an alias, which is GG, which is short for get status -s for short. So we can see that we're merging this, and then we are, modifying README, and then partially modifying, because there's some things that we aren't adding in here, the routing module and this one here. And we already verified that within VS Code. So what we want to do is do a git commit -m. And what do we want to say? Update. I guess we did resolve build issues with demo application. And what I also want to include in here is that it's not just me doing this. Is I'm going to put a little bit of white space, and then I've got a little bit of stuff over here because my co-pilot, who's beside me right here, am I pointing the right direction this time? No, you're up here.
I'm up there for you. Yeah.
And I can basically say that you are co-authoring this as well. This is a feature of GitHub to basically say that somebody else is part of this commit. It's not just me. And I don't want to leave my wingman hanging here. Or I'm his wingman? I don't know. Wing folk?
Wing folk.
Okay. So we're just going to create a commit, and this way we have that, and we are on our branch as well. We are not on master. And then we still have changes, which is fine, on the branch. So if we come back in here, we can see that our only changes now are what we've changed to remove unknown, setting that to false in a few different places.
Cool.
So now we can move back on, right?
Yes.
All right. So what we were talking about doing is adding a new flag here, right?
And you could roll those other changes back. You could revert those other ones, right? We know we use that to confirm. And now we know that if it doesn't match, it's not going to show up. It's going to get removed, right? But once we have this code, it should match and show up.
What does this do? Stash all change? Oh, I could stash from here too?
Yeah, stash from VS
I'm going to
Code.
discard those, though. We don't need those.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is add a case insensitive. It's optional, and it is also going to be a Boolean. Right?
Yeah. So that same pattern that's already there. Right.
Oh, I just did something I probably should have mentioned what I did.
What did you do?
I had other files open, right? Use your routing module and the README. But I was in the interfaces. I did. Oh, you know what I read about?
No, I don't know.
What are we doing? We
I mean, guess. I'll try and guess.
Dude, look at this first setting.
Toggle screencast mode. Okay, what's that?
About to find out.
What just happened?
You ready?
I'm ready. Ooh. Wait, did you do that in VS Code? VS Code has that?
Yes.
So it's showing what keystrokes you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can we throttle that? Can we throw some RxJS in there to not necessarily show everything like your backspace? But then I guess it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I saved.
All right. Command S. That is cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Is that what you read about today?
Yes.
Nice.
Or maybe I opened that tab a while ago on my phone and I recently came across it because I'm horrible about going back through my tabs in Chrome on my phone. All right.
Gotcha.
So just like in, well, I think it's in Chrome, but what I can do is through the window. Oh, it doesn't show it here. But you can close other tabs. So if I did this to go to the command palette and close other tabs, Command Shift, or what is it? A Command Option T, and close all the other tabs. So all the other files that I have open closed, and I'm just focused on the one that I have open. No, nothing on that one.
I'm sorry. I'm just like trying to think about like how to remember this awesome VS Code tip that you just showed for enabling presenter mode. So my mind is like going through, should I do an overlay right here in this video? We're going to have a video on demand. So let me like, throw a little marker in here. How do we catalog this awesomeness that we just learned? So that's a
screenshot app.
This is.
We'll put that in here. And then I'm actually just going to save that to preview and capture. Okay.
Cool.
So now I have that, and we can tweet about that later on, or what have you. Dude, it's also showing my click too.
So when we come back and watch this video, that's what, if we do that command palette in VS Code and search for toggle screencast mode, we can find that.
Yeah.
Very
cool. Actually shows my click. See the red circle around my mouse?
Wow.
I like that.
So see, this is, we talk about VS Code and WebStorm back and forth and things like that. And the thing for me, I always come back to like, I love the simplicity of VS Code, and I love the power of it for using it for presentations, whether it be the stream that we're doing now, whether it be, during a talk or whatever. I think it lends itself very well to presentation. And I think this right here that you just showed just hammers that point even further, right? Yeah. Not only the keyboard shortcuts that it shows, but the fact that you just discovered that it also shows where you're clicking. Like, man, from presenting code to other people, I think this is such an awesome tool to do that with.
Oh, here we go.
You got to do it. Can you do it? Yes. Oh, you almost did it. You did it. How are you doing that without it typing BA in the text right there?
Yeah, I don't think I can get away from it. I'd have to do this first, right?
Hey, okay. So you just dropped in the Konami code. Do that again. Like, go back real quick.
Okay.
Check out this. I just discovered about the Konami code. Okay. When you do all of the arrows, right? The up, down, left, right, BA. you end up back on the same line.
This is true.
If you did it right, I don't know if you did it right. You did it so fast, right?
Yeah. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right.
Your
Ah,
cursor ends in the same spot.
it did. It makes sense, right? Two
Well,
up, two
of
down,
course that
two
was
left, right.
intended.
All right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we end up with these slight detours. So anybody who's watching, we appreciate you watching. Make sure you follow us on Twitch. This way you can get notified whenever we stream again. Hopefully you're enjoying yourselves. I know we are. Yeah. So now we have an option, so we're good, right?
Well, TypeScript thinks we're good,
Let's submit that pull request.
right? We got to kind of implement that feature.
We do?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I mean, otherwise people are going to be setting that and being like, yay, it's set, it's not working. What the heck?
This is true. All right, so let's see, find out where else this is being used, right? Remove unknown. True. This is a test. Ooh, tests are good. So let's take a look here. Get store. Remove unknown false. So I guess we need to find out where the values are getting assigned, right?
Yeah.
All right. Is this a snapshot?
It's a lot of work making a simple pull request to a library.
I agree. But I want to be clear, though. Any complications that we're hitting right now is a matter of understanding the code base. It's not a matter of making it hard to make a pull request for Hacktoberfest. Because right now, we have a commit. We could push that out as a pull request. Right?
With the fix for the sample app.
With the fix for the application, absolutely. Now, it doesn't address our issue that we created on GitHub, but it would potentially count towards Hacktoberfest of creating a meaningful pull request to a repository.
It's a good point.
Thank you.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to think who may be watching that there's a lot of complications with creating a pull request, because now it's just a matter of digging through the code and being able to understand what the code base is doing to make the change that we want to make, not necessarily anything with submitting a pull request to any repository.
Right.
Well, this is good. This is doing default values. I think there's got to be a part that merges default values with actual values, right? Supported keys. What's that?
So that's getting all the default values.
Uh-huh. All right, we're looping through those. If the default value is null or undefined, okay. I don't think that's what we're looking for. It's a multi-value. So this is navigating through all the keys within here, right? Ah, here's the query params. The snapshot is the activated route query params.
So maybe they're on line 99. If supported keys includes the key,
Mm-hmm.
and that key is from the query params, I'm assuming from the snapshot.
Yeah.
Or no query params and not remove unknown. Right. not no query params, and not remove unknown.
Right.
Then it's
This is grabbing the configuration for that key.
okay.
But I think we want to go back up to all the keys. So let's come
Let's
back.
talk about that real quick right there in 101. Right? Let's talk about 101 right there.
Okay.
So it's trying to find the default values, and which is array, which we're assuming is the whatever set up in that.
It's not an array. I think it's an object. I think it's using that as a map.
Right. And so then it's trying to find that key, which is in this case on line 101. The key is the value, is the name from the query params from the Angular router snapshot.
Yes.
So this key needs to match the configured key exactly, casing and everything, right? Cool. And since we don't necessarily, this line, there's no knowledge of what that default key value casing is, we couldn't like lowercase this key right here and expect it to work.
Yeah, I think lowercasing one of them isn't going to work. I think we have to do the lowercasing on both.
Right. Lowercase or uppercase, one or the other, right?
Yes. So I think we have to handle this on both sides. This is where it's reading the key from the query parameters. So here's the snapshot that's coming from the router, and we're getting the query params, and then we're coming through, and that's called match, right? So this is what's coming in. It's the key value pair from the query string.
Now, we could also do it right here. We could find the matching key in all default values by looking it up based on normalizing the string to lowercase or uppercase, and keep all default values as is. Right.
Yeah, but then we have to do the lookup based off of that, and we'd have
object keys, all default values, dot find.
Yeah.
Key dot lowercase equals key to lowercase.
I guess this is the only place that it's looking that up, right?
Looks like it right now, right? So
is if, and we have to figure out how to get to our configuration.
Well, we have it right there, remove unknown, right on line 99. It has remove unknown there as a variable. So maybe there's object destructuring higher up, and we just need to add one for our new name, right?
Yep. So if case insensitive, right?
All right. And
then basically what we want to do is find key config without considering case.
Maybe you need to turn off the toggle screen. There we
go. We're good. All right. Cool. The other thing I want to do is, I guess we can do it this way. So let's go. So we know we're on line 103. Let's find out where this is defined. Oh, can we peek it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually just going to go to it. All right. So this is creating a constant, which is destructuring. And for readability's sake right now for the stream, so it's grabbing it from here. And that's our configuration. And we want to pull in case insensitive. And we're going to default to false.
Right.
Right? I think that makes the most sense.
Makes sense.
All right. So I'm going to put this back in, or copy that, and I'm just going to reformat this the way it was. Go to the end because I don't want to make too many changes. Save it.
Yeah.
Exceeds line maximum. All right, I wanted that then.
Now, is that a config on the project that's reporting that, or is that your editor config settings?
No, I think that's from the project. So let's go look. That said it looked like it was complaining from the editor config. Because it said I was exceeding something for too long. Not here. Is it prettier?
I don't see it prettier. Does TS Lint have anything for that?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
So I was violating that. So therefore, we don't want to break linting rules. So we're just going to wrap that.
You want a wrap line here? Or I could do it too, I guess.
What's that? Ah, yes. Thank you.
There we go.
All right, I think that's pretty clean, legible.
Mm-hmm. So a couple things on that, right? I like the fact that you're adding this case insensitive to the last part of that list, right?
Yes.
Because then as a reviewer of that pull request, I think it's easier to read where that comes in at, right? Little things that you can kind of contribute to make it easier for somebody to digest that.
Yeah.
And how you started out with.
Yeah. So to that point, as we look at what we changed here in the query params service, just to look at the diff side by side. Yes, we changed a lot of the white space with wrapping, but even down here, if you look at the way that this is structured, let me see if I can resize that. There we go. As we look at this, we can see that we're just adding that to the end of the
Right.
list.
And so you started out with trying to keep it all in one line, because then that way, when you see the diff, all you would see is the insert of the case insensitive, and it'd be real easy to read, right? If you're looking at that PR, or a lot clearer to read. But since we had to wrap it to match the TS Lint rule, now we get that. But it's still, I think it's easier to digest, right, or parse, or more straightforward to parse if we're looking at that to review it.
Yeah. You know about this feature too, right?
Go to line 1. Yeah.
Type colon and then the line number.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're good because we have a Boolean.
Okay.
So what we want to then do, I made a comment because I pseudocoded that.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically want to find the default values based off of this key where this matching isn't necessarily explicit.
Right.
Do we want to only do this if it's case insensitive and key config wasn't found? Because if it finds it anyway, then we're good, right?
Yeah, or we could do, set const key config equal to case sensitive, this or that, right?
Yeah, but I think we're going to have to do a little bit more than what I like to do in a ternary.
Because we need to confirm that it found it, right? Because if it didn't find it, well, what does it? It must already have some check for key config.
It does.
Yeah. If it doesn't match it, no, there's some logic to ditch it, right?
Yeah. Well, let's write the logic and we'll see.
Okay.
Because if we're going to be able to refine this, it needs to be a let, not a const. And the way we want to find this is find the keys for all default values. Right. So now we have all of them as an array.
Array, right?
And we want to filter that.
Mm-hmm. Or we want to find, right? We want to find.
True. We want to find. Then we need a predicate function. So we need the key. Except I don't want to use that key because we already are using key up above.
So default key?
Object key?
Sure.
Okay, and that's going to a function. And we want to say
We want object key to lowercase equals.
that's right. We don't necessarily have to be a function. We just want it to be key dot to lowercase loser case
Loser case. Still
equal
loser case. What I've done it both ways with lowercase and uppercase. Do you have any preference? I've also seen people do it different ways. I
I
wonder if
keep on typing loser case. I'm more worried about that. All right, find. And that's just going to return the first one, right?
yeah.
So that means that key config would be equal to this, right?
Well, that's going to return the key. So we need to actually then use that key to get that in the all default values, right?
Oh. Now this is the key, and we're finding that particular one, right?
So object keys, what does object keys return?
Object key. Oh, that's right. That is the actual key itself.
It's an array of keys, right?
Yeah, so we're saying we want to do this sub all of that. This is why I don't like to do it on one line.
It's one way. Let's see, what else we do?
So we want to do the case insensitive key is equal to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we want to do is say key config is equal to all default values sub the case insensitive key.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this could wrap around all of this, but I think this is a little bit more straightforward. Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay. All right. Are we done? I think we should test our code in the running application.
We should also look and see, is there a spec, query param store service spec? There is a spec.
There is.
Could we
do you want to try the spec first, or do we want to do the other?
Yeah, could we add a spec for it?
There is a spec. What function are we in here? Get store. Okay. Default store tests. All right. All right. So we have one in here. Simple navigation. Let's see what else we got here. All right. There's a whole bunch in here. That's good. Nested routes. I don't want to do can activate. So let's copy the simple navigation. I'm doing a whole lot in here, right?
So there's this simple navigation with remove unknown param option on line 420.
Case insensitive.
So check this one out real quick. Go to line 420.
I was following you.
Okay. So see, there's one right here. It says simple navigation with remove unknown param option.
Yeah.
And the thing that we're adding is real similar to that remove unknown param option, right?
Okay.
So maybe we should copy this one so that it's just that same pattern.
Okay. So this is this one here, right? Should remove unknown? No.
Yeah. So let me here. I can copy it.
Hold on for a sec, because I want to get rid of what I added.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do that real quick. Come in here and revert. And I am back to following you.
Okay.
And you drive.
All right. So I'm going to copy this. And now the question becomes, do I put it right next to that one? Or do I put it at the very bottom of this file?
Go ahead and put it at the bottom of the file. I think that's pretty clean.
Okay, let me see. This is actually, I need to put it at the bottom of this particular
Describe it.
describe.
Yeah.
Because it is nested in there, so I got to put it right in there. So this is actually, where is this at? Let's see. With remove unknown param. Okay, so it's right there. And then there's a nested routes. And so I'm going to do it right underneath this one here. Okay.
Did you do anything?
I did.
Seeing your changes.
So now I'm going to simple navigation with.
Move your cursor, because I'm definitely not seeing you move around, even though I'm following you.
With case insensitive param option.
What line are you on, Justin?
I'm on line 556. Why is it not following me on yours? It's weird.
I don't even see that change.
Do I need to save it? Let me save it.
Try saving it, but I'm used to seeing your stuff populate here, bud.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it's not picking it up. I just saved it. Did live share like cut out? It's like we don't support this long. I don't know.
You wouldn't have seen any of my code.
But wait, are you query param store service spec?
Yeah.
How many lines you got total in that thing?
526.
That is way short, I think. I don't think I pasted. I'm showing 759 lines in this thing.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me save. Do you have what you need on the clipboard?
Yes, I do.
All right. I'm going to resave this file because
Okay.
I did a revert. How many lines are you seeing now?
I'm going to close it and open it again.
Okay.
Now I'm seeing 526.
Okay. That's what I see as well. Okay. Now I'm seeing you move around. We're good.
Okay.
I think it had to do with the fact that I reverted the file through Git.
Okay.
So.
What did we say? We said remove.
So for anybody who's watching live right now, what's happening is that VS Code is being driven by Justin on his machine, actually driving my VS Code here through live share. And I'm going to reshare that link because it looks like we have a few more people in the chat there, Justin.
How are you seeing that?
Seeing what?
The more people in the chat.
More people in the chat. All right, out here. You ready?
Yeah.
So we popped out that chat window.
Yeah.
There's this button right here, users in chat. And we can see who's watching.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I probably should have shared that with you earlier. I found that earlier today.
I'm just looking at the chat. I'm like, nobody's saying anything. Nobody's typing anything. So how do you know?
I just know.
You just know. Wizardry.
I just shared in the chat. If anybody watching has VS Code or Visual Studio installed and they have the live share extension, you can go ahead and click that and join and look at this code base in your editor and be able to follow along. Which is amazing.
Okay, I think I got to it. I'm going to add it here. Oh, live share. The current document is out of sync with the host. Please try reconnecting to the session.
Oh, no.
All right, I'm trying that.
You have left the collaboration session, Justin.
It is reconnecting. Pop. Report a problem. Not right now. I'm live streaming.
And now you have joined. And I see here, there's one person here, and it is you. And you're not currently editing in a shared document.
Oh, just what's going on? There we go. Okay. Close the terminal. Blah, blah, blah. Where am I at? Simple navigation with remove. Okay. This is the one I want to do. Right here. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to change this name from simple navigation with remove unknown to simple navigation with, oh wait, look, it pasted too. It saved my previous one. All right. Simple navigation with case insensitive param option. Come down here, change this to case insensitive, right? I'm going to go down, should remove unknown query params, should match case insensitive query param.
And Josh Colvin is here. Hi, Josh.
All right. And
in the live share session, Jocelyn.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go, and this is going to navigate by the URL. We've got page size here. We got page size configured in
Hold on,
right? Camel case. So lowercase p.
Where are you?
Because
I'm not seeing you right now.
Did it lose track of me?
I may have lost track of you. Since you're not editing a shared document.
Interesting. Well, I could share my screen. Could do that.
That would work too. Yeah, it says you're not sharing the doc. I don't know.
Do I have to allow myself to be followed?
Oh, you know what?
What?
Oh no, it says make you read only, but you're not. Read only. Can you close that document and reopen it? I'm going to close it on my end too.
Sure.
Okay.
Let me try and save it here.
Now it says you're in there. All right. I got you again.
Okay. Whew. Okay. So should match case insensitive query params. No, you don't. That's not what I'm highlighting.
What?
Oh, it's out of sync again. Let me close mine.
All right, here. Let me not follow you, and you tell me what line you're on.
Okay.
Wait, I'm in the wrong.
All right, where am I at here?
Are you down?
I am on line. All right, where'd it go? Did it ditch my? You don't have autosave, right?
I do not.
Oh, I feel like it ditched my code here.
Hold on, because it's.
I think it was around line 265.
I don't know.
I'm gonna paste it again because I copied it out of there.
Okay.
Whew. Okay. Let's try this again. Simple navigation with
Joshua says.
What's up, Joshua?
Say hi to Joshua.
Hi, Joshua. Joshua Colvin. Thank you for joining
us. He's in the live as well, so he's able to follow along on his own machine.
If it's working for
a different way that he's looking at code, he's able to follow along.
Nice. Okay, so this page size is defined here in camel case, right?
Yep.
And we know by default, what we're saying is we set this case insensitive to true. So we're telling it we want this new logic to run and make sure it matches. If the URL doesn't match that, should still match it, right?
Yes.
So here we've got page size. And I'm going to say, let's see, it should match case sensitive query param. So it's going to run this navigate, and then it's going to zip up RxJS, zip up the store and these router events.
Can you scroll a little bit more?
Scroll where?
Down?
Like this?
I scrolled. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to zip up these two things. It's going to pipe that, get one, right, when we subscribe and complete it. And then it's going to expect that the URL has page size in it, in that formatting, and it's going to expect the state, this library state, to have the page size mapped to that value. Correct. So I think what I want to do is I want to change this to be like page size.
I think that would make sense to me.
Page size. And that we should then expect that to end up as 10, right? Let's check the default. Okay, default is 30 in the configuration.
Yep.
And the URL is going to have 10. and we expect that this read the URL and had 10, and then we expect that the state library is going to set that or have that value equal to 10 because it matched on case insensitive, right?
I completely agree.
Okay, I'm going to save this. Now, one thing we didn't do is we didn't run the test, right? So we don't know if the test actually functioned right now.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this as exit, which is telling Jasmine to not run that particular test.
Okay, so we're going to see if the library runs without our new code to see if the test fixtures all run, or tests all run correctly without our new code.
Yes, and
Okay.
actually, I think that's not the one we want, is it? Oh, what? That is not what I wanted. Is it over on this one? Yes, this is where we built the store. So if we come in here, and I'm just going to copy that. I have two different tabs open. So let's just, instead of doing ng build, let's run ng test of this is the library.
Okay.
I'm just going to make that bigger.
And so using the Angular CLI's ability to say, this is the name of the project that we want to run the test for.
Correct.
Yeah. But
What's building it?
look at that in your thing starting, bro. In your terminal.
Nice. Love wrapping, right?
Right.
All right, I'm just going to temporarily move this down here and see what's going on. All right, it's building. And there, now we can see it. Browser Chrome. All right, so Karma is starting. Cool. Look at us go.
And it skipped the one, right?
Our one, everything else is passing.
Okay.
So that's good. All right, I'm just going to hide this. And
let it fly.
All right, we're rerunning that test.
Put it in my dinner order while we do this.
Hold on. Expected page size. All right. So one thing here is that we expected this. Well, this. So I think it's finding the right one.
Yes. I know what the problem is, though.
Go ahead.
It's because that the test case that I copied was designed to say it removes unknown, right? So that's why that line, are you still following me?
Hold on. I can. I am following you now, yes.
Okay, that's why this expect on line 298 is there to test to see that best test that's up here on line 292 got removed from the URL that it's reading and parsing, right?
Right, but you took out that configuration option as I scroll real quick up here on line 280.
Right.
Okay.
So this is really not a test scenario that we need in this case that we're testing.
Correct.
So I'll remove that and remove this.
No, I like leaving that there because then it's showing that the URL actually does have that invalid or the different casing as part of it.
That it still remains this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, that it's not necessarily what we're testing about removing it, but I like having it there.
Okay. So I'm going to save that.
Yep. And I will bring up Chrome.
Okay. And I'm going to finish off putting in my order to my family who are stopping to pick up food on the way home. So they can
save yet. I
think they're swinging my Jack in the Box.
All right. So we save, and now Karma and Jasmine should rerun the tests. There we go. Restarting. And it has failed. Expected 30 to equal 10.
Okay.
Interesting. And 30 is what we put in here as the default. Justin, we have a broken test. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Right. I agree, because, we should have made it break in the beginning and then write the code and confirm that it fixed it.
Exactly.
So we're expecting page size to equal 10, right?
But it's equal to
Wait, what's it failing on? It's because it was 30?
yes.
Because we also have line 300 here that's state best to equal undefined, but
Yeah,
we're not state best. It's actually come out.
Yeah, get rid of that because that's not really part of our test. And then I'm going to go back over to the service and take a look there. So I'm going to stop following you. Did that stop following you? What's going on with live share my file? Okay. Nope, I'm on my own. All right. So in here we made changes, and if I remember correctly, it was around line 108. Yes. So this is where we put the logic in here to find the key based off of that from the default values.
Mm-hmm.
And supported keys. Okay. I'm just doing some scrolling real quick. All right, nothing jumped out at me down below. And I'm just going to do a quick check here that we are spelling things the same way. All right, where's your test? Is in the setup. All right, so everything's spelled the same. That's good.
Okay.
Simple things first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering about this all default values. I want to take a look and see where that's being assigned. Inherit path from root. So it's not being filtered anywhere.
So there's object keys, all default values for supported keys. That could maybe simplify our code a bit and use the supported keys. But what are we doing? Let's see.
I see what you're saying. Use that down below rather than having to go through object.keys again.
Yeah, are we doing object keys on all default values, or are we doing it off of something else?
Yes, I believe we are doing it off of, yeah. Oop. Okay. I agree. That makes things a little bit easier down here. It's doing a check here.
So we need to do it higher.
Yes, because I don't think we're getting into this if block because it's basically saying that key, it doesn't exist.
All right. So we want to set key.
But we want to conditionally set key.
Right. So we have our if case sensitive, then set key equal to supported keys dot find.
Yeah, so
That can't be a const, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to just comment out what we added real quick.
Okay.
And bear with me. I'm going to create this to say this is the raw key that's coming in. And then I want to do const key is going to be equal to case insensitive. So if it's case insensitive, we want it to be raw key dot to lowercase. And it's not loser case that time too, which is nice. Otherwise, it's just key.
No, we need to find it in the supported keys. Wait.
Yep.
Supported keys include. We need to change it to the same casing that it is in supported keys. So we need to find it in supported keys. So we need to do this here. I'll just grab it.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
I was going to do it in 2 steps, and you're simplifying to 1.
That's something like that, right? You can clean it up, change it, whatever you want, but that's what we want, right? We want to say if case insensitive, then we want to look in supported keys and do our logic to lowercase it and find it, right?
Yeah.
And
So,
at that point, when we find the key, then that's the key we want to use. Otherwise, we'll just use whatever the raw key was, right?
exactly. I can change this back to const, and I'm going to just deconstruct what you put it in there and what we were just talking about. So we're just using raw key as a temporary placeholder so we can still make those consts. And then we want the key to be equal to, if it's case insensitive, then we want to look through supported keys to find it based off of case insensitive logic. Otherwise, we want to use whatever the key is that comes in. And then the same logic can flow. Whereas we were doing it down below to try and find the default value, we're now doing it up above so that we can flow into that if block.
All right.
All right, so I'm just going to do a save all, which saves the spec. And that is not the right version of Chrome. There we are. And this should rerun our tests.
Green dots. It's slowing down. Oh.
All right. Supported keys is that. Find is going to return a string.
Timeout? Is that what that was?
It did time out, and I'm not sure why, but it timed out on ours. There's nothing crazy going on here that we did, right? This is all the same logic. We're just navigating based off of a different URL, checking the URL, checking the page size. I'm going to resave this and see if it'll re-kick off our test run. Maybe. Or do I actually have to change the file? We'll put another white space in there. See if that'll re-kick off our test for us. Yes, maybe.
Knows that white space change shouldn't kick it off.
Apparently. We'll double check in here. You can watch our test down here. We don't have to open Chrome or watch Chrome. So it's still timing out. Oh, what? 6 of 16. Referencer cannot access key before initialization.
I know. Line 107.
Hold on. Let's change this back.
So
107.
107 needs raw key. Right.
Gotcha.
Now, what's it going to do?
Finish building. All green.
Whoosh. Magic. Victory.
Wait, we need to see it here too, right? Yeah.
Make that green, yo. Like it.
Like it. So that's good. We were good stewards. So we've cleaned up the application that was running. And then we've also added an additional test.
All right. I do want, I kind of want another test.
You want another test?
Yeah.
I think, are you talking about the negative side of the test?
I want a test.
Let me hide this so that we can actually see.
Okay.
Follow you.
I'm wondering. Let me think about the scenario. So this URL, right? This EURL, like what's it checking on here? It's checking router. What router is this? This is the Angular router, events pipe,
Router.
navigation end, URL to equal page size. So in that other test above where it said remove the ones, right?
Yes.
This test actually showed that when he navigated with extra ones, this URL resulted in that extra one not being there, right?
Correct.
So what I'm expecting right now is if we had, let's say, page size all lowercase and page size all uppercase, that this would still result in both of them showing up, right? So let me check this. Let me write a test for this and we can see. Let's see, what would we call this? And remove duplicate.
Unknown.
Well, this is what I want to do is duplicate. So I want to do like page size equals 10 and page size equals, let's do this, page size equals
20.
20.
Yeah.
Because
so
if we have
what would be the expected? Say that again.
So if we have this scenario here in the URL, like what do we expect to have happen? And B,
do we set the false on this one? We haven't set up any additional configuration to say that. Let me come in.
Right. Yeah, shut my door real quick.
A multi is actually a value on the parameter itself.
So there's probably already logic in there. So that multi-true, I think, in the library allows it to have multiple values, right?
Yeah.
Multiple entries for the same key.
Yes. So think about it like sort criteria that you want to sort by name and then based off of date or whatever.
You want to pass an array through query params.
Yes.
Where the array would be named item IDs or item ID, item ID, item ID. I think in like back in the day, like PHP or C# where you process it on the other side. So I'm wondering if like this is a concern, right? Where are we introducing some code that would either make this behave in a different way? Because now we're saying, look, find the matching key, case insensitive. So theoretically, all of these would result in the same single key.
I agree. I like this test as it is. I want to see what the result is if you were to save this. So what we're checking is if we set the same query parameter twice with different casing.
And we're using our new case insensitive flag.
Yeah, because you didn't change any of the logic down below of the actual test of what it's checking.
Correct.
Go ahead and let that run through.
Okay, so let's say I'll save this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that one didn't save on my end. All right, I saved it. Ah, it doesn't like something. On line 582. I got a whole lot of red. So it can't find router?
Extra. I think things are getting kind of crazy now when we're double saving.
No, I don't think that's it. I think maybe something happened whenever we copied and pasted here. So where does this end? That ends here.
I feel like maybe maybe my auto formatting or something kicked in or something.
I didn't like that.
Maybe I copy pasted wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's off in some way, shape, or form. Like, should this have? Yeah, I don't think you grab the whole describe whenever you do this.
Did you fix it?
Not yet. I'm gonna blow away the test that you just dropped in there, and I'm gonna copy the whole describe block.
Wait, how are you going to get back to the test I just added?
I'm gonna duplicate the whole describe block. Okay, I see. We're just gonna
do another it, right?
Just the it.
Yeah.
And why are we? Because then it doesn't know what router is.
I was like an extra one at the very bottom, 560.
All right. Well, it still doesn't like that. And I took out what you had. Why do you not like router? Okay, I'll leave that there. What we got going on? I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see if I can see what's going on here. Nested routes. Where's router defined? Go to definition. Sample navigation. There's our stuff. Yeah, I think we have an extra close here.
Yeah.
Because this router doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's it. Delete that. I think when I copy pasted that it block, I copied an extra closing tag.
Going on here because it still doesn't like a whole lot here. It's a whole lot of red.
Mine looks normal now that you deleted it.
Now I'm good. Okay. I'm good. Took a little bit of time for my machine to catch back up. All right. Let me collapse a whole lot of stuff here. All right. And we're talking about case insensitive. And I'm just going to copy the it block only. And we said, and duplicates.
Wadalgo asked, can you help me with my science homework?
I missed something.
In the chat.
Oh.
It's been a long time since I've done science homework.
It's not hard. Hard is a relative term.
Okay, so you say that. Did you add that test back in?
I did add the new test. I added the and duplicates, and then I put the other one with a different casing, different than this, and set a different value of 20.
Okay.
Oh, King Bill wants to try and help.
We're almost done. We got to finish this. And, the good thing though, is that I think once we get this test running, I think we should save our PR submission until tomorrow. So we can get fresh rest, look at it tomorrow, make sure we've got everything dialed in before we actually submit the PR.
Exactly. So 20, expected 20 to equal 10. So it's almost like the second one in wins.
That's what, right before you said that, MP Skeeter said, I bet last parameter wins. Page size will equal 20.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know if that's right or wrong. Well, it's also we're going to fail on this too, because
I know what they're thinking though. I feel like I'm thinking the same thing, because that loop in the code, as it goes through it keeps finding it, and it'll find the last one in. It'll find and set that value again, right?
that is true.
So probably found the page size match with all caps, set it, and then it found the page size match all lowercase, set it, and that's why that last one wins, right?
Yeah, I think this makes sense, right? And I'm okay with that. If we're saying that it's case insensitive and somebody is passing in multiple, that the last one in will win.
Something has to win, right? You have to make some decision at what wins. Like, is the expected behavior going to be the first one wins, the last one, right? So do you just say, yeah? And I agree. I probably say, look, last one.
I want to see something curious here. So let's save this. And let's make them both page size. And we're not going to care about that at this point. And we'll expect it to equal 20. But I also want to come in and change that to false. And I only want to run this. So I want to see what happens if we turn ours off. What happens if you get the same one multiple times?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can replicate that same functionality, right?
Right. And I wonder if they already have a test to do that. Should Matt? Oh wait, that's ours. Okay. Are you running it to see?
Oh. It went back to the default. It expected 30, the default, to equal 20. Because it's in here twice. Huh.
But is that because multi is false by default? If we set it multi-true, would it? I don't know.
That's a good point. If we
Well,
came
20
in,
plus 10 is 30, right?
oh,
Maybe we should change those values to like 1 and 2.
Value is 30. And multi is true. Oh, don't I need a parsing function?
The type or something.
Yeah, where is that? If I go into
TypeScript should tell you, right?
Oh, that's true. Let's see if I can get it that way. Type converter. Thank you. Is that good?
What's it complaining about on default value?
I don't know. Value. What? It's not assignable to value, number, type converter, number constructor, multi-true.
Is it supposed to be number constructor?
Oh,
I think it's number. Wait. Number. Oh, yeah. No, you had number. Oh.
all right. I'm going to their documentation.
Yeah, it's number. It's up there in line 61 of the thing. Multi, maybe it needs a separator. I don't think multi is the thing that we want.
Number's not in here. I guess number is not valid to support multi.
All right, well, now we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So, so what was the behavior? The behavior was that it matched the last one in
Yes.
in our scenario, right? But the default behavior
Revert to the default value.
It ignores both of them. Let's see, net page size, and then we have page size. It ignores them and goes with the default.
Yes.
So our introduction of our feature is not in line with the default behavior that we're seeing, right?
I would agree with that statement. I'm wondering if there's anything in here that would cause that to be the case.
Yeah, like why is this additional code changing that behavior?
Agreed.
It's taking the URL string. It's setting up the key to use.
And all we're changing is how it does that lookup. Right? Is binary boolean. Here's some multi-logic. But it shouldn't hit that because key config is not multi for either case. Well, this is doing a whole lot of logic. If it's not multi.
So it is going, let's see. When you don't have it and you have two, wait, you put in two of the same, right?
I did.
Spell it differently or case it differently.
I can't because I turned off case insensitive.
No, I know we want it off. So the default behavior that you're testing though is when the key exactly matches sent case on both of them.
So you want to do this?
Yeah. No. I want to do one of them page size. Yeah. One as the default name and then one as the different casing.
Well, then that's going to be fine because it'll think they're two different ones.
Make the first one have a capital E and the second one have a lowercase e. Yeah.
It's going to ignore this one.
Right.
This
So what I'm
should,
saying is like our test to confirm the behavior, those behaviors are not going to be the same regardless, right?
agreed. Here it thinks that there are two different parameters. So it's just going to ignore that and not map it here.
Right.
But if I were to check this, that should still pass, right? If I have the Z.
You need a Z and a Z formation.
Agreed. So that passes, which we expect, right? Oh. Okay, that's fine because it thinks it's a string because it's not configured to map it as a number, and that makes sense. Right, so this should pass.
Right.
Because the size with a capital E, while it is case sensitive,
wasn't configured, so it defaults to a string because all query params are strings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But because the default value is specified as 30, it intrinsically knows that it's a number.
Okay. Okay. So I don't think we're introducing any new different behavior in terms of, that sort of thing, right?
I would agree with that statement.
My question would be, do we want to have this test in there that says like should match case sensitive query params and use the last one when duplicates so that it describes what's happening and you can see it, what's happening from the test?
I think that's okay. I think it's good for people to understand what's going on there.
I mean, I feel like at some point that question will be asked, right?
Yeah.
And if there's then a desire to fix that, then there's at least a test that we've added to confirm that that's how it works right now. So then maybe it gives them anybody a heads up if they want to change that down the road.
Yes. Right?
Sure. Yep. And so we got the matching URL, should flow through the same.
Yeah, and then the value should equal to the second one. And here I'm running all the tests again, and all of them are passing.
Okay. I like that. I feel good about that.
I do too.
Okay. So we got test passing. We added some tests. We got some test passing.
Exactly.
What about do we want to check it in the default app? We have to figure out some configuration or something there.
I'm more happy with the test passing, and I think the author Ilya is in the same boat, it being that the application itself didn't compile.
So why don't we just run the default app, the test app, just to confirm that still runs?
Yeah, we need to build the library first. I don't know how to switch in VS Code, how to switch to this shell.
Like a shortcut?
Yeah.
I don't know either.
Find next. G? No, it's finding next. I don't think that's it. Focus previous terminal is not.
Focus previous pane?
I don't think that's it. Because that would be side-to-side panes. I'm okay with this. Unless it's control 1 and 2. Whoa. Now that's changing my tabs up here. All right. Run start. Then we can go back to our instance of Chrome, which is here. Just put it off to the side while this is compiling. And I am going to step away. I need to use the restroom real quick.
I'll take over. All right, it's building. So we kind of set out to try and do this tonight in like an hour, maybe less. And yeah, we're having so much fun that it's extended to, man, 2.5 hours now. Like it though. Like it. Okay, so I'm assuming that I can look at mine and see if mine ran. Where did mine go? Localhost, webpack dev server. I don't know if his refreshed on the screen there, but it's looking like I'm seeing that it works.
You're seeing that it works. Am I still sharing?
Yours refreshed or not? I didn't catch if yours refreshed or not.
I am refreshing now, and it looks to be working just fine.
Cool.
So if we were to set this to 40, it seems to be working. We see 40 here.
Cool. All right, so app is still working. Everything seems working. We got some test coverage for that. I like it. Added a feature. What about a little bit of documentation for how to use that feature? There's a README, right? Do we need to add that in there? Is that the only place that the documentation is at?
As far as I could tell. So let's go back to the README for the repo. And what was the parameter that we were piggybacking on? Remove duplicates?
Remove invalid.
So this is a whole lot of example within here. You know what? Instead of looking at it here, let's look at it on as part of the repo. Because I think here it's a little bit easier to read, right?
Why don't you? Yeah, you could also look at it in VS Code, right? In the output panel for Markdown.
I think this.
I don't pick up the styles.
Because otherwise, I got to do a side-by-side thing. And all right, so this is mentioning the configuration, how you set up, and inside the app routing module, setting up the default values. And then over here is remove unknown.
Oh, I think it was remove unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's some usage of how to get those out, but we're not worried about that here. This is mentioning guards.
So maybe just in that one spot, right?
Yep. So I'm going to switch back to our editor. I'm going to search for that. Again, we're going to put our thing at the end, right?
Yeah.
And our thing is called case insensitive. And I don't want to guess. We're up online here. I'm going to copy that just so that I don't get that wrong. That would be bad for the documentation.
Right. I agree. It's false by default, I think. Right. So false. And it looks like that they had a trailing comma on that, on the inherit one.
I added that.
Did you add it? Okay, you added it. Okay.
Here, if we look at the history, I added the comma there.
So we're good. So no trailing comma on ours then.
And this is going to say
like match the pattern, whatever is being used. It, especially in the cases where there's not some type of formatting, right, that comes along with the library. Whatever we can do to try and follow the same formatting that we see in there can be helpful.
Match query parameters with case insensitive logic.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Default value false over there on the right. I'll change that. You change that. You change that.
There we go. It's highlighted pink for you, buddy.
I like it.
And that updates the README. I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
So I think the next step of what we would want to do is just verify all of our diffs here. So we added in the interface here. So we want to allow them to be able to set a case insensitive value.
It's optional. We use the TypeScript
You don't have to set it.
mark for optional.
And therefore, by default, it is false.
So everybody who's using this library right now it'll still behave exactly the same way as they had before.
Correct. It's a non-breaking change.
Non-breaking change.
Which we verified because we ran the application.
Mm-hmm. And test and assuming the test had coverage, then those all worked.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm almost tempted to change this to be case sensitive because it's almost like a double negative. And this way it would be case sensitive with the value being true. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought upon this the other day when I was thinking about adding it. And so let me think back if I can remember what I was thinking on and how I came to the determination of using that.
Now normally I would say, all right, false by default is good because it's falsy if it's undefined. But the fact that we can specify the default here as we're doing the deconstruction of that configuration.
I agree. I think that falsy, that truthy and falsy is the scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you say, look, if for some reason somebody set that to, like if it was reversed and somebody set it to a non-Boolean value and it evaluated to truthy, would that be a problem, right?
I don't think so. I'm leaning towards switching it. So what we're arguing, just to be clear, is whether or not it should be the first one or the second. Currently, it's coded as insensitive, and this is making it case sensitive. Because when you think about case, to me, you're talking about case sensitivity, not case insensitivity.
I don't know. See, I kind of feel like then the thought process is because by default it's true. I don't know. Part of me feels like if it was new library, new code just written, introducing the API for the very first time, case sensitive would be the way I'd want to go. But because this is adding on to an existing code and trying not to break it.
The part that gets me is that we're essentially dealing now with a double negative.
I'm just trying to think if there's any other logical scenarios that I could think of where I'd favor one over the other.
Anybody in the chat have any ideas between using case insensitive or case sensitive?
I think like by case insensitive, you're opting into it, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
And by case sensitive, you're saying, hey, it reads as if, oh, all of a sudden we're all getting it turned on for us automatically, right? When ultimately, logically, that is the case, right? But it infers that like some new code is being added to set that, when really the new code is it. I don't know, but I think I'm just like posturing at this point over different things. I mean, truly, I think I'm fine either way. I'm just, my brain is trying to go down all the paths and decide, right?
I think we're okay with leaving it as case insensitive. Oh, we did.
Oh, command line monkey, I say switch to case sensitive. All right. Well, that's 2-1. Unless we get any other votes here in the next 5 seconds from the chat, that way he's going to win.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Done. All right. We're switching it.
So let's see how good. So we have no.
I'm really hungry too, and this is going to delay my eating. That's fine though.
Hey, Justin.
Yes, Mike.
If you look at it this way, currently it's 11:45.
Your time.
My time.
Mm-hmm.
If we push this off 15 minutes, it's Hacktober.
It is.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to go to the interface.
Depending on if Hacktober is based on East Coast time or not, right?
True. All right. Let's see how good VS Code is.
Command line monkey. My bad. Ha. No, no worries. Totally fine, right?
Let's copy this so we have
I'm
it
for
to easily search for it.
either one. I like it. I like the user interaction. It's not just us making the decision. I like it.
Do we have any more instances of it?
Now, did you change the logic check too?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
I'm just finding all of our pieces in here. So case sensitive, true. And the default is true. Okay, so our documentation's good. Our logic is in here, but this doesn't exist because up above, we want case sensitive and the default logic is true.
Wait, it did something weird there. It gave it a type.
All right, that's better.
That's better.
And then if it's case sensitive, we want this.
That, right? VS Code lets you just flip that if you no, doesn't do that. WebStorm lets you do that.
So if it is case sensitive, just use the key. Otherwise, use this.
Okay.
So that logic's right. And the only other thing we should have to change is here. Except we want to make it false.
For our test, right?
Yep. And if we switch back to our first one.
What's the name of that describe? What's the text in that describe up there? We might need to change the.
Yep, good point.
With case sensitive param option.
Yep.
Right.
Should match case insensitive.
Yes, those are still correct, right? Yeah.
And all I've changed is the description. So the test is valid.
Did it run? Are you running the test right now?
The test is built in.
Okay.
Here goes Chrome. Don't really care about Chrome because we. Ooh. Ah. I didn't save the interface.
Save all.
Command line monkey, thank you for contributing in the chat. Appreciate that.
Very much. Very much so. Thank you.
And just to be fair, I would have said that even if you would have voted the other way.
Well, just to append upon that, in looking at the documentation, I see that remove unknown is true by default, inherit is true by default. So I actually feel even better about this now because I think it's in line with the other settings as well. So
Yeah, except for the no query params.
yeah, it's just kind of looking over that and saying on average, most cases, it's true. So
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
So we good?
I think we're pretty good. Yeah, I like it.
Nice. Me too.
Okay. So we want to do a commit for these changes.
Yeah, we can do a commit. I'm going to do that in my terminal, though. I'm not going to do it in code.
Well, let's see what VS Code does. Well, yeah, let's do it in your terminal. That's fine.
We could do it here.
Well, I remember when VS Code added that part about the.
I think that's my alias for git whip.
Okay. So just go ahead and do it then in the terminal.
Yeah, let's go to the terminal. Give me a second. Got this. All right. Wow, that's really, really big. Okay. So git status -s, clear my screen. So we changed the README, and we already verified all these in VS Code. I'm just re-looking at them. So we want to add them. We can take a look, and then GG is just an alias that I have for git status -s, and we want to do a git commit, right? We added a feature and add ability to match query params without case sensitivity. That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right. So I mentioned earlier when we looked at our issue that we created right here that this number is important. Right? Hey, look, thumbs up on our issue. Oh, it was you.
Right. That was me. Thumbs of it.
That's cool. But
One
what
thumb.
we do is we can reference this from our pull request directly. So in our terminal, we go onto a new line here. We can say this fixes number 16. And that number corresponds with the number of the issue that we're fixing, we're closing.
So GitHub is going to read that and parse that and have that linking automatically for us, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So
I also want to do the co-authored or by or whatever.
Yeah, I already loaded that on my clipboard, and we're just going to say that it's co-authored by you.
Okay.
And that's our commit message.
Okay.
And we are good. So if we were to do a git log -n and look at our last 3 commits, notice that we did 2, and I'm doing a --1 line to look at them on one line. So we have in here, this was the minor version that was released, and that wasn't by us. But then we resolved build issues, demo application, and then we have our feature add ability to query params without case insensitivity. I think that looks pretty good.
It does. There was one thing that I wanted to adjust on there on the code.
In the code?
Yeah, but it doesn't need it, I think. It was just a formatting thing.
We can do it.
Yeah. It was query param store service TS. Line 107.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted this all in one line. This all in one line. Like that. I was going to suggest that, but
that's okay. We're good. So git status. That's so much stuff. What is that? That's nothing. All right, so we made one change, and we do a git diff. We change the white space? Clear that. So we can do a git add. Just add that.
You just want to put that into the previous commit?
Yes. I have an alias for that as well.
Okay.
Which I believe is an alias for git commit -- amend. But I always just do git amend with my aliases. So if we go back and look at our log of the last 3 commits, we saw the same 3 commits: the minor version, our build issue of the application, and then our feature. So this got added as part of the feature here with
Okay.
the white line or the white space changing.
Cool. Got a squiggly. What's this squiggly?
Do we want to push this branch?
Yes.
Okay. So if I do a git remote -v, that'll list, and we know that it's already got my origin as where we clone from. So git push origin, and we're going to query param store. -u. Why does it not like that? No. Why can I not push that? Oh, you know why? Because that's not the right branch name. Origin case insensitive params. Thanks, command line log. Yeah, I think I was on the wrong thing. No, I don't want to push to master. I am pushing fork of this. Right, I have rights to push to my master, but I do not want to do that. I want to push to my branch here. Cool. So now we have a new branch in my fork called case insensitive params.
Because way back almost 3 hours, 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago, you made this branch locally, but didn't make it up on origin. So that's why, right?
Exactly. So I have pushed that up here. And the next step would be to check. So if I go to my version of the repo here, and I'm just going to refresh this. I'm going to close our application. It mentions that we have a new branch here, and we can see that.
Hey, but before you do anything there,
Yeah.
go to the feature request. Go to the issue on the actual repo. You still have that open?
Yes. I have that here. So then if we scroll down, we don't see anything. But if we refresh this,
Wizardry.
I added a commit here that referenced this issue. And there you are. You're here too. Do you know
Hey,
you're passionate about front-end development?
I still am. Yep. So that's good. That's current. So this is GitHub being able to look across users to see that your fork of this repo has a commit that fixes this issue that you referenced. Absolutely. So you referenced number 16, and it picked it up as not your issue number 16, but the upstream
from the original repository.
Yeah.
Not the upstream repository.
Not the upstream.
Yes.
Hit pause when I started to say that. I'm like, oh, that's not the right term I want to use here.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to show one last thing on the command line. So I'm going to clone. I'm not actually going to clone here. I'm just going to copy this just to make sure that's on my clipboard. Yep, we're good. So inside here, if I do that git remote -v, I only have an origin. But I can do a git remote add, and I forget the syntax there, add name and then URL. So I usually, with all these, I will do a git remote add, and then I want to add an upstream so that I can have a reference to both my fork as well as the main repository. So now if I do a git remote -v, I also have an upstream. So what I can do here is I can do a git fetch of upstream, so that my local repository knows what's happened there. And then from this local one, I can rebase interactively against the upstream master. And this way I can make sure that everything is up to date. It allows me to change my commit messages or whatever I need to within here. And that's all fine. And now I know that I am up to date with the latest version of master on that repository as well. And then if I needed to, I could repush this, but I knew that I was on the latest when I got it because I just got it a few minutes before we started. And we are at 12 o'clock, so it is officially Hacktober, so we can create the pull request.
For you, I'm hoping it's officially Hacktober across the board, but we never looked at the full details of what the timing is for, right?
It's 12.
And did we need to? And we need to like log in there, right, or something?
Yes, but even if you were to log in later in the month,
oh yeah,
pick it up back to the beginning of the month.
That's right.
So I'm okay if it doesn't count because we can always create more pull requests.
It's really about contributing. It's not so much about what we get out of it. It's what everybody else gets out of it.
Exactly. So this here is saying that we're going to from our repository into theirs, because that's the way the arrow points. These are wrapping because the names are rather long. And then we're able to merge. And what we did is fixed build of application and added case sensitive feature. There were build issues after cloning the repository. So we addressed those build errors and implemented the feature from issue number 16. And as we do that, you notice GitHub also gives us IntelliSense to say, hey, yep, you make sure you're referencing the correct issue as well. And then all we have to do is create the pull request. And we can preview this as well. And you notice that this comes up as a link so we can get from the pull request to the issue and the issue to the pull request. And we create that pull request at 12:02, so we're good. No conflicts. We don't have the ability to merge, but now it's up to the our work here is done. It doesn't seem to have any CI process running because otherwise you can link and restrict merging based off of that. But we are good. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Mike.
I think we also need to do one other thing.
What is that?
Hold on. Am I on the right one here? Yep. All right. Let's move this over here.
Did you tweet about it?
We do. We need to tweet about this.
Yeah, about it as well.
We have just pushed our first PR on our live stream. Twitch.tv/NGBS. Happy to be a part of hashtag Hacktoberfest. Where's my mouse? There we go. Get the right case in there. With this first PR. Cool. I think we need a gift.
And let's tag Ilya in there.
Oh, that's a good point. Celebrate. Add Close that. Close that. And do you have Ilya's?
I just sent it to you.
Did I give that right? Is that right there? Yep.
_ IDA. Yeah. Yeah.
And tweet. All right. I'm done sharing my screen, Justin.
You're done. Okay. Go back to us.
Go back to us.
Yay. All right.
I can bring you over here. Okay. Now I can look at you here.
Mhm.
Where's our chat? There you go. So
Very-
hopefully everybody has not created a pull request. They're able to follow that. If you're watching it later on, after we upload it to YouTube, then watch the beginning where we do a whole lot of work, and then the steps at the end to be able to push the pull request and get it live.
Right.
And then we'll obviously have to keep an eye on the pull request and make sure that it passes.
Let's see if it goes through. Yeah. Awesome.
Excellent.
That was fun.
Yes, but I know we're after your dinner time. Interfere with your dinner and your family time.
We are. That was an unexpected journey of, what are we at? 3 hours.
Yes.
That we started out planning to be 1, but
But we went through the whole process. We
it's true.
Forked the repo, cloned the repo, created an issue, verified that our functionality we wanted wasn't there,
Right.
figured out how to fix it, fixed it, tested it, documented it, pushed our branch, created a pull request, and tweeted about it. I'm happy.
I'm happy too.
Yeah.
That was an excellent journey for sure.
Absolutely. We'll have to definitely do more pull requests during Hacktoberfest.
Yes. We'll have to figure out what we want to do next.
Yeah. If anybody has any ideas, reach out to us on Twitter, NGBS_show. Or
I'm on this. I got it.
You the man.
Or you say it though. NGBS_show, right?
Yeah. Or to Justin or myself, Shorty or Braca.
He's Bracco. I'm Shorty.
Yeah. You can get us confused. We don't mind.
Yeah, or whatever. It'll get to us one way or the other.
But yeah, we will be back on Wednesday with something else. It'll be fun.
All right, my good friend. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you for everybody joining in the chat. And we will see everyone on Wednesday.
Later.